for his time today. Thank you, Sine. And yes, Wimpy, we know you're a busy man and got a lot of things on the go, but yeah, thank you for making the time to chat to us and our brokers. So Wimpy is an architect by profession. That is amazing. And look how we all end up in the insurance game somehow. So sorry, Wimpy. And Wimpy is also the founder and director of Global Choices Assets, Global Choices Lifestyle, Digital Path, and Claim Central Africa, which started in 2018. So it's interesting to see as well. I'm sure that's also evolved over time and during COVID. Wimpy is passionate about South Africa, as are many of us. And I think also to see how we can do things better in South Africa, about design thinking, and then also about the total experience and digital solutions. And I think that's a big part of what we're talking about here today. And Wimpy's mindset is also around design thinking. And I think that's so important to make sure that we stay relevant to our end customers. So Wimpy, over to you. And thank you so much once again. And yeah, if anyone's got anything to add, as I said, please pop it into the comment section. We'll keep an eye on that. And also any questions into the Q&A box. And we will deal with all the questions at the end of the session. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Tammy, for that introduction, and I too for the opportunity to present to you all today and for creating this platform for the insurance industry. I feel very privileged and honored to present today. Today I'm talking and sharing my thoughts and ideas how to maximize your customer experience with these key steps and to implement a total experience strategy. The customer experience landscape is undergoing significant transformation in terms of expectations and capabilities, yet many companies are ill-prepared to adapt to this change. While it was previously enough for brands to deliver a frictionless interaction with customers, they must now adapt or adopt a total experience approach to stand out from their competitors and building lasting customer loyalty. Unfortunately, many insurers have attempted to retrofit this strategy through disjointed and superficial fixtures that lead to even a more fragmented or siloed customer experience. Oh, right. Just want to see why it's not clicking over.
Is it jamming a bit?
Yeah, I didn't want to click over, so I just want to see quickly. Sorry about that.
No problem. Perfect, it's showing on our side.
Okay, there you go.
Cool.
Today's customer demands a seamless, proactive and predictable total experience across all channels and touch points. And throughout the entire journey with you, the insurance company, you have to make sure that all these touch points stay and remain a certain high standard. My talk today will be broken up in 3 segments: customer expectations that will disrupt the insurance industry, maximizing your customer experience and to take key steps to implement a total experience strategy, and guidelines in creating a total experience playbook and framework and operational model. The customer expectations are disrupting the insurance industry. What's happening in the insurance industry, insurance products, complexity, regulations, and established insurance balance sheets kept insurtech and digital disruptors at bay. But now that's busy slowly but surely changing. The new customer generation expect to be able to interact with the insurance and their broker in an omni-channel digital experience. The key questions facing insurers, underwriters, and brokers going forward is how to facilitate the needs of their customers in the ever-evolving digital world and lifestyle choices to create the broad experiences this generation have become to expect. No customer needs to check on the insurance policy daily. It's different from banking or investments, but customers expect the same type of experience when they need to interact with the insurer. For the last 20 years, insurers cared about efficiencies and speed to market, and may still be the main objective. but this has been superseded by changes in customers' expectation as a priority. Insurers will need to balance the needs of the new generation and the younger generation with those of the older ones, including the Gen X's, as I'm part of that group or label, and baby boomers, that's people luckily older than me, who do not have the same preferences or attitude with digital interactions. It's important to remember that customers and employee demographics combination will change quite dramatically between now and 2030, when these new digital natives will make up half of the adult population. To understand digital natives' distinctive attitudes about risk is vital. They have a methodical and informational gathering approach to assess what to do with their money, their free time and careers. And that can, for the older generation, they can think it's quite risk adverse. Their choices and decisions may be simply a practical response created by financial crises and other world shocks of the time. They are responding differently to change and to focus on the things they can control, and a blind eye when things they have not influence over a problem. They want to deal or work for companies they can trust with high values and require flexibility. As this generation continue to mature, gain experiences, and express their preferences about what they constitute as a risk in their personal financial career, will play an influential role in the economy. These preferences will dictate the risks on offer and how insurance recruit and develop talent. This digital generation wants simplification and a holistic view to manage their lives across different areas. It's important for insurance to pay attention to these changes and how to develop a value-added and digital service to manage risk. To protect their motor, home, is their own, or if they own one at that stage, or their health and retirement. The rapidly changing nature of home, work, business, and family are raising the conceptual lines that kept insurance traditional. This new generation have made significant lifestyle shifts and choices, which outpace the older generation in all aspects, which require a truly diverse risk need that requires different insurance solutions. It's time for us to reimagine the holistic customer experience as the innovative marketing battlefront. The pandemic has accelerated the need for change, and insurance companies have focused on digitizing their existing processes, enable virtual engagements, continue with current sales and advice and engagement models. A major customer perception is that insurance industry players engage with them in siloed manner, selling in individual product lines, selling them individual product lines and solutions driven by commission or remuneration structures and not addressing their holistic needs. Today's customers are increasingly expecting a more meaningful and diverse value proposition and trusted relationship. They are looking for a partnership to assist them, to advise them, to achieve their personal objective and risk protection. They will require the insurance industry, this will require the insurance industry to coordinate and to collaborate or partner with different marketplaces and ecosystems that deliver a total life experience strategy and a set of services to help customers meet their personal risk protection and financial goals. As an example, is to provide a free and clear recommendation and estimation platform on how to optimize customer insurance, mortgages, and investments to achieve financial planning targets, budgets, and life stages and their ambitions. It will require research to understand how your customers are trying to solve a complete set of financial challenges they have, and that they are outside the product and services you currently offer as an insurer. To engage in a more holistic way will require a review of the total advice model, your fit-for-purpose distribution models. To accommodate and support the new customer demand will require investments to develop refined digital architecture and business models that are more authentically purpose-driven. Financial advisors are struggling to reach people due to advice offered face-to-face. When they reach them, they spend a sizable portion of their time doing admin and compliance tasks instead of giving advice. The new customer generation avoids face-to-face engagement as their preferred interaction. The same as they prefer their interaction the same as their social circles, as online engagement. And they still want the same uniformity. Online engagements will simplify, and if you plan it right, uniformity and compliance, financial services compliance, around advice given, because it can be recorded, if you use technology correctly, increase adoption of hybrid powered models to create better quality controls and save time and reduce advice risk. This will require a redesign of existing advice models, both in advice they dispense and how they dispense. Technology will enable intermediaries to sell more with greater alignment to their needs, and admin can assist with decisions, thus reducing distribution costs. Why commit and invest in something now for a risk that maybe never happen in the future? It's a common phenomenon, and that will put we all put off buying insurance until we need it. Loss aversion is a natural human cognitive bias, and the result of many influences, including and not limited to individuals' makeup and socioeconomic status and cultural background. But when a risk event happens, our rationalization change and insurance become a priority. Rational or not, when we decide to buy insurance can be explained by science. And two behavioral economists, Tversky and Kahneman, describe it with the prospect theory, which determines how we decide on what is risky, what we perceive as gains rather than absolute outcomes. Therefore, many individuals view their insurance payments as a loss for unknown gain. People tend to purchase insurance after a risk event and cancel their policies years later when they perceive the likelihood of a risk event as low again. So why is that? After experiencing a risk event and getting insurance seems worth it, but the odds of the risk event is still the same. And these two, Tversky and Kahneman, calls it the framing effect, where identical situations generate totally different decision-making decisions. Depending on whether you see the situation as a potential loss or gain, people adopt risk-seeking attitudes when confronted with losses and risk-adverse attitudes when facing gains. Many important decisions we as individuals will face will require incurring losses. Loss aversion can't prevent people from making the right decisions for themselves to avoid failure or risk. Though being risk adverse is useful in many situations, it can prevent many people from making rational and logical choices as their fear of loss is too intense. Behavioral economics research has shown that when customers are compelled to visualize their future, they often make better financial choices. And the key here is to facilitate customers to connect to their future self and make the impact of their decisions tangible to them there and then to drive informed decision-making. And this is by using a combination of gamification or multimedia content, match sharing, and scenario modeling. This will drive better financial outcomes for customers. And I do believe it will increase in premiums or assets for the insurance industry. To maximize your customer experience I'm just going to share some steps to implement the total experience. The importance to address customer emotional needs, and insurer needs to recognize that insurance products are often associated with stressful and emotional life events, and we play very much a role in that, the insurance industry. And therefore, empathy, clear communication, and timely response to customer queries and claims are very critical components to provide an excellent customer service. In addition to insurance, must ensure that they educate customers on their policies and help them to understand the importance of being adequately covered. Empowering customers to make informed decisions and simplify their user experience can also go a long way in addressing their emotional needs. Recognizing and addressing customers' emotional needs is a critical component of providing an excellent customer service. By understanding customers' feelings and concerns, we can foster experiences, build trust and loyalty, and promote customer satisfaction. This may involve techniques such as active listening, empathy, and problem-solving skills, as well as a willingness to go above and beyond to meet customer needs. By making emotional intelligence a priority in your customer interactions, you can create lasting relationships and promote business success. In addition to accomplishing tasks efficiently, customers and employees are also seeking emotional connections with insurance brands. And that's something we need to remember. There's always the other side of the coin. Neglecting emotional aspects of business is easy with the abundance of technology. And as we sit here, we're now not even connecting with each other in the physical environment. We actually now in a virtual environment. However, customers, employees, and partners are the foundation of any organization, and insurers must strive to create experiences that align with people's emotional motivations and functional needs. Understanding how people feel before and during interactions with insurance lead to valuable insights. Your customer gives you feedback. And to provide superior customer experiences, brands must go beyond simply reacting to customer inquiries. They need to anticipate customer needs and proactively design experiences that guide customers towards their next desired action. A key way to achieve this is through this total experience strategy I'm promoting, approach that seamlessly integrates digital touchpoints with personalization, interaction, and leveraging sophisticated automation and AI can further redefine. We spoke about AI now, and the ChatGPT and how that will play a role in all our daily lives. Even school children are now part of using this as part of their daily lives to do their research and interacting with computers like it's a human being. I just lost my place here.
While Wimpy's finding his place, we do see some. No, it's fine. Take your time. We do see some hands being popped up, and thank you.
Okay.
We will unmute and allow you guys to ask some questions at the end, but please do keep those hands up. And if anyone else wants to contribute, yeah, please put up your hand or pop questions into the chat box or under the Q&A.
Sorry about that. I went off a little bit script there, so I've lost my point. Leveraging sophisticated automation and AI can further refine the customer journey, result in increased sales and customer loyalty. By making insurance more personal, make every customer touchpoint more impactful, aim for hyper-personalization. And that recognizes unique needs and preferences, even if it's in a small moment. And that's where AI is going to play a specific role as well by giving you those tools in the future. And don't forget to create a personalized employee experience as well to boost loyalty and connectiveness. Always remember that's the other side of the coin. When you engage, look after your employees dealing with your customer. Making insurance more personal means tailoring insurance policies and services to meet the unique needs and preferences of individual customers. This can involve using data and technology to understand customers' behaviors and their preferences, and also the risk factors, as well as providing personalized advice and support to help customers make informed decisions about their insurance coverage. Ultimately, the goal is to create a more seamless and customer-centric insurance experience that meets the needs of each individual policyholder. The other part that's very important is to conduct an honest evaluation of your customer experience operating model. And I think that's sometimes a little bit lacking in insurance. We just say it always works, but we don't go and actually look at it. Despite the significant investments in your current approach, take a critical look at your process, technology, and talent. It's very critical to deliver the future ultimate customer experience. And moreover, scrutinize your technology stack's capability to deliver this total experience effectively. Establish a strong technology foundation is to prioritize a cross-platform. You must be able to prioritize cross-platform integration and collaboration. Also, utilization and customized creation. Implementing the optimal blend of technology, tools, processes, and personnel enhance the company's capacity to deliver a total experience throughout all the channels. Exemplary instance of total experience implementation can be attained by a comprehensive understanding of your customer experience by journey mapping, persona development, and objective and insight reviews, and even site visits and employee interviews and engagement with sales representative. And lastly, leveraging AI technology can further enhance your total experience goals, such as using predictive intelligence to enhance personalization and machine learning to improve overall efficiency. Strategy with your broader business goals. Ensure the success of the total experience is crucial to align it with broader business goals. Investing in a top-notch tool and personnel is not sufficient unless there's a consistent support from it from top to bottom throughout the business. It's actually almost like developing a culture for total experience strategy. It's important that everybody's included and every business unit and IT department share the same perspective and value for the total experience strategy. When a shared vision and objective exist, the potential new lexicon of terms, tools, and techniques required for achieving success will be more easily adopted by everyone. An excellent example of implementing total experience is where comprehensive understanding of customer experience is to create a detailed plan for transformation involving all departments, including marketing, operations, your e-commerce, your IT, and finance. I'm going to talk a little bit about creating like an experience playbook, and for every business it will be different, but this will just give you a guideline of what an experience playbook looks like. By creating an experience playbook, can streamline the complex insurance purchasing process and empowering insurance brokers with digital tools to personalize service and meet changing customer needs. Insurance leveraging digital technology can allocate their resources efficiently, allowing for a focus on value-added tasks prioritizing customer experiences when creating innovative insurance products is key to satisfy customers seeking protection against their financial risk or accommodating their evolving needs. The total experience strategy is essentially for insurers to attract and retain policyholders in the changing economy as a younger generation into the market. To stay ahead, insurers need to create superior experiences for both existing and new clients with different expectations and values. A comprehensive total experience strategy integrates multi-experiences, customer experiences, employee experiences, and user experiences. And this will help achieve your goal if you integrate all of these and to optimize multiple objectives and creating a shared experience across all your devices or platforms and touch points you may create as an insurer. And to prioritize customer service, user satisfaction, employee engagement, this holistic approach builds trust and foster better relationships throughout the policyholder's life cycle. While ensuring consistency across all channels, additionally, it provides a comprehensive view of interactions and deliver an exceptional experience every time when you interact. Create a comprehensive total experience framework. Insurers needs to focus on the crucial elements of customer needs, compelling offers, and deliver results, and to ensure that each experience, decision, and action is informed, start with a 360-degree view of the customer and the employee, with a commitment to fostering the best possible experiences. Investing in a total experience approach will yield long-term benefits, including satisfied, loyal customer because they trust the experience and happy employees who stay with the company for years to come. But to identify where to begin can be quite a challenge, and to address this challenge, I'll just introduce you to the E's of the total experience framework. The first E is for evaluate. Understand your customers' perceptions of your brand or your company and their experiences with them, and your current capabilities, and deliver on that brand promise. Envision, develop experiences designed that drive growth and reduce cost. Establish a blueprint, business case, and transformation roadmap. And then I always use to, of course, I'm a design thinker, is empathy. Empathize, use customer feedback to identify pain points is very important. Prioritize improvements and track progress towards resolution. Enable empowering employees with the correct tools, training, and support to provide exceptional service and drive performance. And then evolve. Continually refine and improve your total experience strategy based on customers and employee feedback, data, and industry trends. So if you go through all of those, you can create an assessment for your business, and to gain a comprehensive understanding of your business, it's important to conduct a total assessment. Even companies that strive for a total experience can't succeed without a thorough comprehension of the total state. You must examine your component of the overarching experience and consider the underlying business technology and your operational capabilities. Enabling the vision and strategy of total experience always require change in our operating system or models, because you focus on very much on a traditional way of doing it. And in the simplest form, an operating model is how an organization is configured to deliver a strategy, and how it leverage people's processes, information, technology to deliver both customer and business value. So what I'm going to talk about now is how do we as a company what are we doing to create a total experience strategy in the insurance industry and for our clients is by creating a 24-hour first notice of loss service, because I believe risk events don't keep 24 office hours. You need to be available 24 hours a day. And we're now incorporating some digital monitoring services around your users, crash detection in your motor vehicle, or how's your driving, etc. So all of those things can also then send information to the call center or the infrastructure about a potential first notice of loss. We've been running a 24-hour emergency call center for 22 years under the brands of our clients. So that put a little bit more stress on our, because we work with the extension of our clients' brands and their reputation. And then API platforms, because of all the legacy systems and insurance platforms, administration platforms, we develop, API solutions. And then something that I started a long time ago and is always working on, is work in progress, is don't send your clients blank claim forms in a PDF format. Pre-populated claim forms, and we've got solutions for that as well. And branded app and appless platforms. And I will expand on that a little bit later. And what apps channels is also very important, because to accommodate the new generation and for to be available through another medium. Service provider tracking is becoming very much, because we're so used now to the Uber type of business, and we now start integrating that into our solutions as well. And then there's the Live24 Assist, is the live video streaming platform that we can use, and I'll expand on that a little bit later. And then over the years, we developed this Halo Next platform, our CRM platform for brokers, to create a single view of the customer case and the communication with that customer, and then they can also view it real time. And our latest development is a What If Vault. So with all of this, what we try to achieve is we want to offer the best digital solution, an ecosystem for our customers, and is that art of collaboration, how we can find different things and start with the process of implementing a total experience solution. Our total experience omni-channel and collaboration solutions focus on policyholders interact with their insurer from first contact all the way to present day interactions, and is to optimize multiple objectives when you interact with that client or that touch point, and that's very important, and that's art on it by itself. And by prioritizing customer services, user satisfaction, and employee engagement through the holistic approach. So our payoff line is adding to life. And by incorporating these values and partnering with our clients to give the policyholder the absolute best in assistance services, and that's normally the beginning of a claim, and 90% of the calls we receive is the beginning of a claim anyway. And the relevance and the authenticity of your brand and the promise around your customer experience, and with the latest digital solutions to ultimately create a customer experience. We created this assistant app platform, and with this app platform, it was a trend to have apps, but now it's a platform by itself. It can be an app, or it can, on your app stores, or it can be an appless platform, where when a client engage with our call center or through a WhatsApp channel, you can actually do all the functions that's available on the app through those like an open web platform as well, and then capturing and help and assist to get the vital visual information. But the key is to ask when you develop these things, what else can it do? And it's very, very important to always going to look, and that's that, connecting the dots. Certain clients is not going to download your app, but you need to give them, educate them that there's the other functionalities available to them when they're in an emergency situation and when it becomes a claims process after that. We develop self-service portals for our clients under their websites and under their brand. And that's very much to help with that pre-populated claim form scenario. We capture quite a lot of information in the call center, and all these platforms can be separate or they can be integrated into one ecosystem as well. And it's very important to pre-populate that claim form for a customer, because that's the ultimate customer experience. If you don't know your client, then send him a blank claim form. The client clients want to it's expectations. They want to know that you know who they are and what you actually mean for them. And a pre-populated claim form is actually the first little small step in that relationship and in that claims journey. By capturing through the call center on a central view, it's linked with the claims portal. The vital visual information that's captured at the scene of a motor car accident or a geyser that burst or a pipe that burst, it all actually sits with that pre-populated claim form. I spoke a little bit earlier about over these years, the last 7 years, we developed a Halo platform for our call center. It's a CRM platform, and it's to solve case management. But the brief I gave my developers in those days was to have a single customer view. So it comes back to that start with your customer. When he interact with you through different touch points in the call center, it gets captured on the CRM platform. So when we resolve his emergency and send the first notice of loss to a client, then they can also go into the broker can go onto the platform and see and look at the vital visual information that was captured as well, and who last spoke and what was the last outcome of their engagement and who communicated. And is the client happy? Because through our process in the CRM, we also get feedback from the customer. The latest development, because people don't always want to have, use an app or download an app. So we create for our clients now WhatsApp business channels. And on a WhatsApp channel, depends on what you want to integrate into it. It can just be the assistance services, or it can be the full view my policy or refer a friend or and book your home safe chauffeur, etc. via this channel. It again comes back to that CRM platform of the Halo Next, where all of these engagements are captured, and that can also give you as the client, the broker, or the underwriter, or the insurer, insights of what's valuable to your customers or your policyholders and what they use. And then, as I mentioned earlier, one of our latest things, and this started very much out of our funeral assistance services, but now it's gaining momentum into capturing assets around your house and keep it in a digital vault. So on this vault, as a value add that you can provide, you can store quite a lot of information about what is important. And when you're not in a position to speak for yourself, when you were in a bad car accident or you pass away, then there's a confidant that can actually be that you nominated, that can have access to the information and then share. And there's also to-do list on this portal, and it sits in the cloud, and that's a value add you can give to your customer, and it will also help with the retention, because they get dependent on this vault, because you can embed it into your product profiles, and they can still continue with it, even if they leave you as a client, but then that's additional cost to them. We started the company, as mentioned in my introduction, with Claim Central. And one of the functionalities that I was very keen on to incorporate into our emergency call center was the live video streaming. And this live video streaming got so many different options. It can be part of the claims process to assess the claim and capture it, and it all gets recorded and sits in the cloud, and it's attached to the claims platforms process. But it can also be used for pre-inspection. It can be used in our emergency site, and that's when we launched the Live 24 Assist. When you're in a car accident and you were involved in a car accident and you're not injured or etc., the call center agent then can communicate, send you an SMS, and now we're busy making it live into our app platforms and our WhatsApp platforms. So you can actually speak live to the emergency call center agent or a case manager. And through that process, everything gets recorded, and you can communicate through this medium, live video streaming, and then be guided to capture, as we call it, vital visual information. All the other cars involved, driver's licenses and car licenses. Do a wraparound video when we send out a tow truck on the same case. He gets a link and he capture the damage to the vehicle. And simultaneously, part of the total experience, we then can start pre-populating a claim form and also send through on the protocols to assessors and to the broker or the underwriters. They know what to expect, if this vehicle is going to be written off, etc. By capturing that information, and time and date stamp and geolocation, it also will help in the future with third-party claims resolution. Because at this stage, it takes up sometimes to 3 years before that gets resolved or settled. And then, very important, I mentioned is about the Uber tracking of service providers. And it was quite a challenge, but now we can just use with our platform, service provider's cell phone and link it with the client's cell phone on the different mediums, and he can see the service provider coming towards him and what time he will arrive. And we use it very much also for our home safe chauffeur and airport drivers, etc. So it's a functionality that can work by itself, or it can get embedded into a value proposition and a digital experience that becomes also part of a seamless scenario. And then, as I mentioned, the API platforms solutions, and it's about integrating. And I mentioned about apps, but it's actually those other different digital platforms like your WhatsApp, app list experience, or download the app from your app store. And linked with the Halo Next, and then capturing, and we can actually capture that information and put it onto the external admin platforms as well as a claim, but also extracting information to start pre-populating that specific claim form. This was my time. So to end the conversation is that the total experience strategy is very much about these 3 aspects. And there's quite a lot of thinking and processes behind it, but it's to know your client, and it's to understand what solutions you're providing and what challenges they face and what you can provide as a broker or underwriter or insurer. And that's very much about that data collection and the analyzing of it. And that's where AI and artificial intelligence will play a vital role in the future. And then how can we assist your client? How do you assist your client through the whole thing? And that's very much where brokers becomes risk facilitators. They in the know through the various digital platforms that this is the experience their customers going through, and they can intervene whenever they feel or they think there's intervention required as well. But it's to create a single customer view across all those different channels, and then leveraging technology, as I mentioned through my whole presentation, and is to streamline and simplify the brand interaction. When you interact with your clients, is how you make it easier automated, and behind it is the education of the employees. Do they have the right digital tools to provide the great service? And then also your partners, like in our cases, we're dealing with plumbers, electricians, and tow truckers, and home safe chauffeur drivers, etc. They're part of the whole value chain, and that's where you need to make sure every touch point is the great experience. And then to end, never stop evolving. A good design is never final and done. And in the process of continuous measurement, it's a process of continuous measurement. You always have to measure where you're at and get your feedback from your customers, and then evaluate it and then improve and simplify the customer experience. And always stay curious about your customers. That's very much one of the foundations of design thinking is empathy. And to be able to provide the culture of empathy, you need to stay curious about your customers. And that's me. And thank you very much for the opportunity and to have discussions, and we can take questions now.
Thank you, Wimpy. That was very, very insightful. And I've got a few questions lined up for you. So, and I see there's some things going on in the chat, so we'll go into those. And then there was a question raised around the automation and pre-population of claims forms. So there was a question raised around the FSCA regulations around pre-population of claim forms. So do you maybe have insights into, what is allowed and not allowed in terms of the regulations?
Okay, so just on the you can pre-populate a claim form real time. That's the basic information. It's not the detail of what the claim is all about. But when you sign the contractual relationship with the policyholders, you got all that detail up front. But you just go and lie on a server. And it's actually to take that information from day one. And this is because as a client, you took out a promissory note to you're going to deliver on when there's a risk event happen, and it's almost to foresee it when that event happens, is to quickly give him their name, their physical address, and then also they can choose which vehicle, because it's all digital, which vehicle on the policies system that they can choose. So it's not a thing that you give it to them and say this is what you're going to claim. You just give it tools on the digital and it's accessible there, and then also to edit if something has changed. A telephone
so just streamlining the process, basically.
Yes, just streamlining the process, but it still comes down to that self-service portal, etc.
And it's still their obligation to make sure that the information is correct.
It's correct, because they so it's not we dictating to them how they must claim it. But you just give them the tool. And the physical address, because the asset uncovers at that physical address. So it's just and it's just giving the automation functionality on their self-service portal, their app, or their WhatsApp channel to do that. So
this also talks a lot about how you said if we've got the correct data, how you can make the process and the experience so much different and streamlined for the client.
Yeah. And it is certain things that the FCA allows, and that's to fast track certain claims like windscreen claims, except because it's to do with the vehicle and you capture the vital visual information around that. So it's just to make the process, it's not going back and forward and take photos and send it by email, etc. So it's just to streamline the process. And this is part of that automation process, because a lot of things can be automated because you've got a contractual obligation from day one, and you already got access to that information anyway.
Yeah. And then Wimpy, just a question from us as well. You spoke about, about the fact that your ethos and your company is very high on the empathy for clients and, caring about the clients. So I think in my mind, sometimes it's very hard to marry the digital and doing everything digital and putting the empathy there, because for me, I mean, what does that look like? I mean, is it that you're putting a heart emoji at the end or a hug?
No, or a smiley face, etc. No, the whole thing is digital intervention and so on is just to streamline the process. But with digital, there's always humans involved. There's always humans viewing it. your case manager and your call center see everything happening, and they can see if the client struggles with something, then they can phone the client as well. So you always need that human touch. You know, it's part of that. We used digital solution to enhance the empathy culture. That's actually what we do.
Okay. And is it also saying that through the digital and knowing your client, you understand what empathy means to Tammy versus what empathy means for Wimpy, and that it might have different core values for each of those individuals?
Yeah, but that will become more to do when you start analyzing data and then start focusing around when you understand your client better. The basic of empathy is do you understand what I need? It's actually
Yeah.
this.
That's the basic you need.
And you can pick up very quickly, especially when you've got a human engagement on the tone of the voice and the stress levels, etc. And as we train our staff, is that you become that interim placeholder of that person. Because remember, if you're in a car accident, you actually go into fight and flight mode. Your rational thinking and so on is, it's a chemical reaction happening in your brain. So you're not going to be maybe always the nicest person. You're in stress and you will be anxious, whatever the case may be. And it's to encourage that. So that's where it's a combination of the two. The technology is to have access to the service immediately, but it's the human and the case management around these specific events is to help the client. If you see in a claims process, the client is struggling, or rather create a tool where you can actually go and see where where his claim is, and or the process is, and then help is to assist the client. That's where you go above and beyond your job descriptions to help the client, not wait and be reactive. I think there's a little bit of a culture in insurance is we always reactive and not the proactive bit. And that's the ultimate part of empathy is when you become intuitive, and that's where technology can help with that intuitiveness, because it know what to expect because of data.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wimpy. And then we've got another question here, which I think might be more directed to the FSCA, but maybe, Wimpy, you do have some insights. So it's just on ChatGPT already made the headlines about fraud in the insurance industry, with it being able to do voiceovers, etc. Do you have any insights on how you think the industry could regulate this? I mean, obviously, we're not the regulators and might not.
Yeah.
Some
No, well, if you're going to use those technology, because it's like there's a code of conduct. You sign to a code of conduct as a FSP, and you must make sure that technology that you use to create the experience with ChatGPT, it's falling into that framework of compliance and the code of conduct. But yes, our service been hit the other day because ChatGPT is hitting to get data out of your this is cyber attacks and so on will happen more because of what they're using that now for the opposite, to get into databases and extract data from people. So that's busy happening. There's always two sides to the coin, as I mentioned earlier in my conversation. There's always the good and the bad, and you have to counter it. Everything is a balancing scale, like justice. To deal with that, you have to work out the counter. But there's always still ChatGPT is who wants to extract or use the information for, and what I want to use it for. So, I think very much it's going to be, the regulation is going to be what controls you've got in place to prevent these things from happening in your organization. And that's also going to be an educational thing. The first thing will happen, and then we'll become reactive to it. That's set a precedent, and then they create regulation around that.
Great, thanks. I hope that answers your question. If you've got any other questions, feel free to pop your hand up or in the chat box. And then, Wimpy, if any of the brokers want to get hold of you to take maybe some conversations further about how they can, better streamline the experience with their clients.
Yeah, they're more than welcome to the phone. Or when I see me at some of the functions, because we're going now, so there's a lot of functions coming up now, October, November again. but they're more than welcome to come engage with me, and then we can set up and I can just sit them, help them with the to start assessing what they've got and where they can improve, because all these things doesn't happen over time. You start with small steps, but there's to actually create the main objective and say, it's the same as we start with a customer. Identify your objective and work your way back and start finding solutions for that. And in certain cases we've got solutions, and sometimes we have to customize solutions for you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wimpy. I appreciate that. And then we've got 1 minute left, so I'm going to just squeeze in the last question. Wimpy, so obviously, you've got your platforms and your ease of transaction that you want to offer to the client, and having a single point of reference as well. How important do you think it is for the brokers to also adapt in terms of, that from inception, from when they first meeting with a client, to have a streamlined, whether it's digital or just a brand awareness or view, so that the client at no certain point feels that, oh, I'm switching over now just to, this process or that step, or getting handed over to someone else?
Okay, so just if I understand, is how to break down a little bit of silos that sometimes exist.
Yeah.
Because, and that's where we try is, as I mentioned, we're the first touch point normally, because I phone the call center number, or I phone the broker that phones me or my call center to sort a client up. And that's actually where the journey then, the risk journey starts, the emergency risk journey starts, and it becomes a claims risk journey, etc. after that. And that's what we try, and it's also about education. It's educating your broker to say, this is what's happening right now. So yes, we're just doing the emergency and resolve that, but we can do so much more to push that onto that stage. What do you have in place in that touch point or that phase of the customer journey? And here's some solutions that we can provide you with, or that you may be already sitting on, but you have never applied it, and then to help it. So it's actually mapping out that customer journey with the broker, and to look at it, and go and look at all the what ifs happen around the customer journey, and the main pain points of their customers. That's identifying those pain points and how to resolve them.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Wimpy, and thank you for your time.
No, pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Listening to me. Okay.
We'll show
Paulo raised his hand.
Let's see. Paulo, do you want to say hi to our brokers? No.
No.
Okay. We'll get Paulo to.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There you are. Yes, hi, Paulo.
So just wanted to say big thanks and well done to you, Wimpy, and to all our brokers out there. This is client service personified in this gentleman. So take him up on his offer.
Okay. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Paulo. Thank you to all the brokers that joined us from all across Africa and South Africa. We hope to see you all soon. And yes, get into contact with Wimpy and see how you can better your client experience. Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Wimpy.
Go well, everybody. Cheers. Well done, Tam.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.